Hey there everyone, I'm making my latest video. Haven't made one in a while, but I have a new machine to list on Craigslist. And this is another all-metal vintage sewing machine that I've restored. And restored means I've literally gone through every system on the machine. It has been inspected and cleaned and adjusted. A few parts have been replaced as needed. And the point is to keep these machines available for sewing because nothing for the home is made like this anymore. And many of you guys know that. There's been a huge interest in vintage machines because they keep running and they're very simple to maintain. It's just that when you first get them, a lot of times they've been sitting a long time, so they need a full going through that people like myself enjoy doing. Now, what you're looking at is a machine that is, you tend to see a lot of machines that were made in Japan, particularly when you get into late 50s, early 60s, because manufacturing was moving to Japan back then. And I have restored a number of these machines. It's kind of interesting that the bobbin system comes from a Singer, class 15, very easy to find and common. The zigzagging, this is both a straight and zigzag design, that part is copied from the Italian Necchi machine, which invented it. And this particular model, I believe, was made by the Juki company, and I know this because of the way the top is constructed, and the top is even heavier than normal, and all of these vintage machines are heavy. But this one's even heavier, very close to the weight of the Necchi, and I think it may be the lid that puts it over the top. But in any case, you have very simple controls here. You have stitch length control here, you have stitch width control, bobbin winder on the front, and then you have not two but three level feed dogs. You can drop the feed dogs entirely with these push buttons, and they all function. You can do free motion work, you can do very, very delicate fabrics, or you can, of course, have normal sewing. And your, let's see, your thread tension adjuster is here. There is a light on the machine, and I'm not using it today because it's daylight. And it's kind of a really cool color. I don't know what you would call this. It's sort of like a robin's egg blue metallic. And the quality of these machines is really just amazing. The motor was actually made by AC Delco. General Motors used to make sewing motors once upon a time. But anyway, I wanted to demonstrate the machine for you guys. It is going to be listed on Craigslist probably the end of today, I believe. It includes a table. I believe it's a cherry table, and it actually will include quite a few cool accessories, and the original accessory box came with it, so that was pretty neat. Anyway, I'm going to demonstrate some sewing with it now. I'm very tall, so bear with me if I tend to rock the table a bit. I'm extremely tall, but I'm going to demonstrate. This is 3 layers of a lightweight muslin fabric. Before I start, I want to mention this machine. You won't see the name Juki on it. You'll see Super Deluxe Precision, which virtually every Japanese manufacturer put that on their machines for some reason. But the name on the front says Hochschild Kohn. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. This was a small department store chain in Baltimore. One of the things I've learned over the years doing this is that there were a lot of small regional department store chains in America, and a lot of them wanted their name on a sewing machine. So you don't see Juki on here because they were doing private labeling, as was Janome and Maruzen and a lot of the other companies. But anyway, that's what you see here. And of course, JCPenney and Montgomery Ward, all of them had their own name on machines at one time. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I've got it on a long straight stitch, and I'm just sewing at a kind of a slow pace here so you guys can see it running. Got a size 14 Oregon brand needle. And I'd already started. I always do test stitching on my machine. I can sew fast. And even when you're sewing fast, it's a relatively quiet machine. Most Japanese machines are. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and take this out and show you guys the stitches. They should show up here, yeah. And you can see these are long stitches, and on the back side is sort of a dark, I think it's like a dark navy thread. Let me zoom in a little bit better for you guys. There we go. And I wanted you to see, like I say, the machine, this is 3 layers of muslin. It's nothing for a sewing machine, any machine really. And then I'm going to go up a bit for you. I like to find fabrics that have dense seams in them. This is high quality Levi's denim. It's got those very thick blue jean seams. And I'm not actually using a jeans needle. If you were going to sew heavy, any kind of heavy fabric, whether it's denim or not, you really should use a jeans needle. And you'll find that it makes the machine's job easier, and you're going to break fewer needles that way. But because I'm sewing a variety of fabrics, I don't always swap out the needle. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start. And it glides right over that dent seam like it was nothing. Of course, I can back tack. I'll come back around. You guys can see me make another pass. I could sew faster, but honestly, when you're sewing thick things, always sew at a slow to moderate pace. You don't want to break needles. The machine, you're not going to hurt the machine so much as you're going to mess up your needle. And there it is. And I use that's sort of a red thread. Notice when it goes over the seam, it doesn't miss a beat, right? It doesn't lose its tension, and it shouldn't. Here's the other side. And let me add one more layer to this. I'll add another layer of the denim on top, and we'll go with 3. The machine will sew a lot more, but I wanted to just sort of give you guys sort of a sample of the type of sewing it can do. I'm going to turn over the light side of the denim to make it easier to see this red thread. Most vintage machines are very easy to take care of. You just need to clean your lint and oil them. Once you've gotten them, again, fully overhauled and tuned, there's really not a lot to them. And you see it going through 3 layers, and again, it doesn't complain at all. These machines were very over-engineered for what they were being asked to do. Here's the other side. Go back to this side so you can see. Again, if you need something that can sew heavyweight fabric, or maybe you're just going to sew lightweight fabric, and you want something you don't have to mess with, right? You can sew with it. You really shouldn't have to take it anywhere. Like I say, all of the things that would need to be done to the machine have been done. It has a new belt, has a new bobbin winder tire. Entire machine has been cleaned and lubricated, which is very time consuming on old machines, but I think they're worth it. They're worth saving because they're ready to sew. They're not broken. They're just they're in serious need of maintenance, and once they get that maintenance, they're ready to go. Now I'm going to sew some garment leather for you guys. Some of you like to sew leather. Remember that when you're sewing leather on a domestic machine, even the heavy vintage ones, it needs to be flexible garment leather. That's the kind of leather that you can sew. I don't currently have a leather tip needle in here, but that's something you definitely want because, again, just make the machine's job a little easier. Now I'm going to start with my needle down. I probably should do that with the denim I was using a while ago. And let's see. And notice I'm not going super fast here either. I probably could. Oh, I sewed right on the edge there. Let me get back over in the middle. Make it a lot easier to see the stitches I'm making. Come back one more time. And again, this is not a leather tip needle, and even in this case, the machine is gladly sewing this for me. Okay, so let you guys see the red thread. Those are really nice stitches. And again, if you are sewing, you can see the sort of dark blue on the other side. That's the suede side. Again, when you're looking for a sewing machine, some of you have big sewing rooms at home. You've got sergers. You've got all these machines. You may only need a straight stitch machine. That's all I use. But for some of you, maybe you're just getting started. Half of my customers are new to sewing. And if you don't have a machine, then it's really a good idea to start with one that does both straight and zigzag. And that's really all the stitches you need in a machine. There are others you can use. I've got machines that do decorative stitching. But this is a really cool sort of time capsule from the past. Beautiful shape, really neat color. If you are looking for a basic machine that is strong and that you don't need to worry about, give me a call, contact me. You can bring your own material. Maybe you sew upholstery, maybe you sew window treatments, or maybe you just want to make clothing. I also have plenty of samples here you're welcome to use, and we'll let you try it out and see what you think. Thank you.